infectious.
What is when you have another guy like that in that line? What's the impact on everybody else?
Well, I mean, the more good players you have on the field, the harder it is for the defense or for the offense to handle what you're bringing. So just another good player added. Happy to have him involved. He did a great job staying into it mentally and doing all the things he could do, and just it was a good start.
Jack, it's obviously with Jamin a bit of a journey over his first couple of years, but he makes the momentum-turning play, forcing that fumble. What did you think of his instincts on that play and just his performance overall?
Yeah, he's playing well. He was impactful in the game, and I thought he and Cody both, had good games, played well, were impactful for us, and it was good to see.
And with Emmanuel Forbes, game two, obviously it's a work in progress for him, but what did you kind of see out of him in this game?
Yeah, I mean, guys, some good, some like to have better, but I thought one thing that was really good was that the moment, everybody, I told them, everybody, this is the NFL. Everybody can make plays. So if you happen to give one up, you need to move on. Nobody's sweating that. So that's what he did. I thought he did a nice job of just settling down and continuing to compete and end up coming with a big play later in the game. So, that's what we're going to need from him.
Jack, obviously when you draft a guy in the first round, like you guys did with Jamin a couple years ago, you have this long-term vision of what he can be. But at this point in his career, as you guys have had different personnel in and out, his role has evolved. How much are you thinking about, how you use a guy that was a first-round pick, getting him on the field 100% of the snaps or 60% of the snaps? Does that impact anything at all? And
I would say zero, about 0%.
And how do
involved in my thinking? 0%.
Yeah.
I'd say what I'm thinking about is deploying 11 guys against the things they're trying to do and to give us the best chance to be successful, help get the ball back for our offense, help the team win. That's all we're about. So, look, I think he's doing a good job. I think he's developing. I think he's playing. He's off to a really good start to the season. So that's great. And we need that from all our guys. And where we weren't as sharp as we want to be, we clean it up. But we are moving forward, and it's all about Buffalo right now.
And so kind of along those same lines, as you think about players that are continuing to play well and trying to get them on the field versus the scheme of how we match up against what an opponent does, how do you balance who's playing well versus the kind of more schematic X's and O's side of who's on the field and what packages?
That's the art to it. I mean, that's part of what you do. That's why we spend so much time as coaches, game planning, looking at our strengths and weaknesses and matching it with the team, the opponent we're going up against. Putting together the best plan we can, and then we go compete.
John Allen kind of laid out his, what he thought a great defensive game was. He said something like 10 sacks, a shutout, crazy stuff. Just wondering for you, what is your definition of a great defensive performance?
One that helps the team win. It's all about the team and winning. Individual accolades and being able to beat your chest. That's all great, but really it comes down to the longer you're around the game, you recognize it's all about winning. It's all about our fans are going to go home happy when we win, and we're going to have great Mondays when we win. So it's all about the team doing all it can, and sometimes it's collectively. Sometimes one phase is operating at a higher level than another, but we all pull together and come out with a win.
And I'm wondering how, as this group gets more time together and spends, how do you see kind of the high standards that you have either elevate, or if they don't change, players kind of meeting those standards more consistently?
Yeah, I think, as a defense coordinator, I establish high standards, my expectations, the things that I want us to strive for, but ultimately it needs to be something that the players grab and they make it, something they're pushing and demanding of each other. And when that happens, then really great things can occur.
And sorry, just to follow up real quick. When a game like Denver happens where you don't get off to the start you want, do you noticed those standards kind of take into effect, guys pushing each other?
Yeah, I think more than anything, we promised we'd go in there and strain for 60 minutes, and it took every second of those 60 minutes. So that's things happen. Plays are going to be made. We're going to keep coming. We're going to be relentless. We're going to be urgent, and we're going to compete.
Coach, last year Buffalo was in 12 personnel, less than almost every NFL team for the season. This year they've been in 12 personnel almost more than anybody else.
They drafted a tight end in the first round.
Right, absolutely.
Pretty good player.
As a defense coordinator, though, what does that shift kind of do to you for game planning with only 2 weeks to see that shift in the scheme?
Yeah, I mean they are a concept-driven unit. They do a great job. They've got good people. They've been explosive. They've done it for a long time. They've been ever since that big old athletic quarterback has been there. They've been tough to deal with. They've got a really good offense.
And
really good team.
Yeah, and in a similar vein, they went for it on fourth down 4 times last week against the Raiders. As a defense coordinator, again, like kind of what does that tell you?
That's in their DNA. That's becoming more and more popular. I think people are going back and realizing what Jack Del Rio did in Jacksonville years ago. And I took heat because it was like, you can't do that. That's not Madden that you're playing. No, it's prevalent in the league right now. Teams are being aggressive, going forward on fourth down, and certainly they have shown that.
Coach, so going
Yeah.
back to your comment a moment ago about needing every second of the game on Sunday,
Yep.
what went through your mind specifically when the team went down 21-3?
Keep fighting, and that's what I conveyed to our guys. We keep playing one play at a time. You just don't know, and that was kind of proof how we just were steadfast. There was a stretch where we went 6 series. We had a couple 3-and-outs. We had a couple turnovers forced. Held them to a field goal on a short field, and that was huge. So and those that stretch of 6 series allowed us to have a chance to take over the game offensively. Really did a great job, and so that's what we're all about. Just keep competing.
What have you made of the Cinco package this year?
Sorry.
What have you made of the Cinco package this year?
I'm not talking about.
I mean, like
you are beauty because you are as consistent as anybody that I've ever seen. But no, we're not talking details of our packages.
Okay, I didn't know if you talk about just what you've seen from those guys in that look. But that's,
When we put our 5 bigs in there, they do a good job, and So
and what do you make of the rise of aggressiveness throughout the league? You were saying like teams are going for it more on fourth down. Like what do you attribute that to, and what does that do to a game?
Well, the game's growing. I mean, it's constantly changing. The quarterback run was just, you had to worry about a few different guys. Now everybody runs. Everybody runs a quarterback. Everybody has guys that can move around and extend plays, and that's just an element that's part of it. An aggressive nature, looking for shots, looking for opportunities to develop explosive plays. That's just part of today's NFL. So, we could go through it's a long, time that I've been in the league and watching where it was and where it is, and it continues at warp speed, continues to move into a more space, more speed is required to deal with the speed and space that we're facing.
Is there a ceiling to that, or do you think it'll just keep?
Oh no, it'll just keep going.
It'll just keep going.
Keep going. It's great stuff. That's what keeps us up, at night working.
Jack, when you have a quarterback like Josh Allen, you got pass rushers who are talented and all that. What's the balance for you, like giving them a little bit of freedom, but yet leaving them to play within the structure to keep that guy from being outside?
Yeah, that's the key. To be on the hunt, because you have to rush, and you have to go, but you have to have that awareness of the pack, so you keep them trapped. So that's the challenge. When a guy's a big old gifted athlete like Josh is, that makes it just a bigger challenge.
Realistically, how many times would a guy who teams spy on a quarterback? Remember, it was that term, but realistically, how many times could you do that in a game?
You do it as often as you want.
When you in the how about like when you're in the business? When you're in the Cinco package, how many times could you do that?
Right, exactly. That's a good question. Somebody might be studying that.
What you make of the Hail Mary? Just from your perspective.
It was poor execution on our part to allow that to occur. And we were fortunate that we were able to make that play to get the stop after that. But yeah, we feel like we're well prepared for that, but that obviously didn't come off the way you'd like.
Is that a full-out review of what you guys are doing at Hail Mary afterwards, or is this like a side?
Yeah, I mean, look, structurally and schematically, we're always going to look at everything that occurs and make sure we're doing the best things that we can to give us the best chance. And so, yeah, we did not execute well there, and that's a chance to grow.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jack.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate it.
Yep.